All right, guys. Now let's start. Let's implement the WebSocket functionality. All right. So let's have like a WebSocket.js file, so which we handle all our WebSocket implementation. So we're going to say new file. All right. The first thing we need to do is to import the Storm client library. All right, for WebSocket communication. Storm client. Let's import client from attributes stump slash stump. So the next thing we need to do is to import sock.js for fallback, all right, in case for browsers that do not support WebSocket communication. So we're going to say import. So now we are going to say let stump equals to null, all right. Then let active subscriptions is equals, let it be a new map, all right. All right, then let reconnection attempt, let it be equals to 0 initially. Now let's create a function. Let's say function. All right, so this function is going to take in the current user as an argument. The current user is also going to take in the token, and then it's also going to take a method that will handle the message. All right, let's call it handle incoming messages. If there is already a Storm client, all right, so let's disconnect WebSocket. We're going to disconnect WebSocket like this. So we'll implement this method for disconnecting WebSocket. So now let's specify where the WebSocket is being accessed in the backend. All right, so we are going to say const will be equals to new sock.js. all right, so we'll now specify this backend endpoint. That's the entering point for accessing WebSocket in the backend. So, and it's going to be http://localhost 3030/chat. All right, so let's proceed. Will be equals to new clients. All right, like this. All right, so we're going to say WebSocket factory. So let's add debug for stump. So we're going to say debug, then we want to say string like this, then console dot debug. So the reconnection delay, let's specify connection delay. We are going to specify 5,000. Not reconnection, reconnect delay, specify 5,000. So let's specify the heartbeat incoming, heartbeat. So we're going to specify 4,000, and then heartbeat outgoing. Let's also specify 4,000. Let's also have the connect headers. So we want to use the token. All right, let's say authorization. So we are going to say bearer. So we are going to say bearer, then we'll pass in the token like this. So before connecting, we can also log the process to see that everything is working. We say before connect, you can say console dot log. Then we want to say connecting to WebSocket. We are actually making the connection using this token, comma, and then if we successfully connect, so we want to pass in the frame like this. All right, then we want to also, let's say console dot log to WebSocket successfully. So now let's clear any previous active subscription that we might have. So we are going to say active subscriptions dot for each. So let's get the subscription ID. All right, so we are going to say storm client dot unsubscribe. So we are using the sub ID to unsubscribe like this. All right, then let's clear the active subscription like this. Now let's say const subscription, that's like a new subscription, will be equals to storm client dot subscribe. Now we are firstly we are going to pass in the message destination. So the message destination is going to be /queues. All right, then let's append the current user like this. Sorry, not queues, it is queue. All right, so that's the destination we have in the backend. This is going to accept the message. All right, then So let's just log out the message that we're receiving, the raw message, console.log, just to be sure that we're actually receiving something. Let's say raw message. We are going to say, oh sorry, while we concatenating, we can just do like this. So we're going to say console.log. Let's log out the raw message. So I'm just passing the message like this. Then let's have a try catch here. We are going to extract the actual message body, all right, from this raw message. So we're going to say const passed message will be equals to json.pass. So we want to say message.body. Let's log the main message body. Let's say console.log. This is just to track the whole process. Let's say parsed. All right. So now this method that we have here to handle, we have this method to handle incoming messages. All right. So this is where we are going to use it. So we are going to pass in this message like this. So let's now catch error. So we can now say console dot error, right? Want to say error passing messages or message like this. Let's add the error like this. So that's all. So the next thing we need to do, so let's have the subscription ID and the authorization like this. Let's say sub. So we'll have the current user, let's say dates dot now. All right, then next thing, let's say the authorization. So we want to say bearer, then we want to pass in the token. No, sorry, this is the $sign. So we want to pass in the token now. Yeah, let's add, we're supposed to add this inside a curly brace like this. All right, so we are good now. Now let's set this queue and the user to the subscription ID. So we're going to say active subscription.set. So we want to pass in the queue like this, queue slash messages. So I'm going to say the current user, comma, and then want to say subscription.id. So let's set it like this. Then also when we disconnect this WebSocket, let's say on disconnect. So we are going to do something like this. All right, so we want to say active subscriptions.clear. All right, then we can just say console.log. Then we want to say WebSocket disconnected like this. Also, if there is an error in the stump like this and a stump error, so let's say on stump error. So we want to know what is actually causing the error, whether it's an authentication issue or maybe like an invalid JWT token. So whatever the case let's undo it. So we're going to say on stump error. All right, so this is going to take the frame. So from the frame we are going to check, we're going to say if, so we're going to say if frame dot header, if frame dot headers dot message dot includes, we want to check if it includes a message like, let's say, invalid JWT token, or if frame dot headers dot message dot include authorization header missing. All right, so first of all let's log this. Wait, command Z, I think there's a mistake here. All right, so let's log this like this. So let's say console.log. So let's say authentication error. All right, then let's say disconnecting. So now let's disconnect WebSocket. All right, so this is console.error. So we'll now disconnect WebSocket. Also, if there is a WebSocket error, all right, so we need to try to reconnect. So we can say on WebSocket on WebSocket error like this. So we're going to say console.log, or let's say console.error. All right, so we're going to say WebSocket error like this. So we're going to pass the error. So let's pass error here. So we're going to pass in the error like this. Then let's attempt reconnect. Let's say attempt reconnect. So we're going to use the current user, then we're going to use the token, and then let's pass in this method. And also, if the WebSockets are suddenly closed, all right, and maybe the closure is not a normal closure, we want to reconnect. So on WebSocket close, let's log this at console.log. Let's say WebSocket closed. So this one will also take event. So we want to know the event that led to the WebSocket closing. So WebSocket close. So let's also say event.reason. All right, we want to know the reason why the WebSocket closed. So we are going to now check. We are going to say if event.reason is not equals to, let's say normal closure, it's not equals to normal closure like this. All right, so we want to attempt to reconnect the WebSocket. So we are going to also use the current user, the token, and then let's call this method also. All right, so let's continue. Then these are the cases we want to handle. Then the next thing, let's say stomp client.activate. So let's activate it, activate like this. All right, now let's now implement the functionality for sending messages. All right, so this one is going to connect to WebSocket and also receive messages. So let's now have one that will also be in charge of sending the messages, like sending the WebSocket messages. Let's say function send messages. So this is going to take the sender, the receiver, the message contents, and the authentication token. All right, so before sending message, you want to be sure that the WebSocket is connected. So we want to say if not stomp client or not stomp client connected. All right, we want to say console.log, no, console.error, should throw an error, console.error, WebSocket not connected, WebSocket not connected. Okay, let's say cannot send a message. All right, WebSocket not connected, that's nice. So let's return false. Let's return false like this. All right, so let's proceed. Now let's add a try catch like this. Wait, let's see. Yeah, okay, let's add a try catch like this. So now let's construct the message we want to send. Let's call it chat message. No, use curly brace like this. Chat message equals to, all right, so we are going to say sender. So passing the sender like this. Then we are going to say receiver, passing the receiver. Then we are going to pass in the message, passing the message content, and then we're also sending the time. All right, so the time will be new dates dot toString dot to ISO string like this. So we are going to say stomp client dot publish, stomp client dot publish like this. Then the destination will be /app/messages. So the destination will be /app/send message. Let's say comma, then the body of the message. So we're going to say JSON.stringify. So pass in the chat message. Then let's also specify the authorizations header. So we are going to say authorization. Let's say bearer, and then we'll pass in the token like this. All right, then let's specify the content type. You can say content type will be equals to application/JSON. all right, so this is what we need to actually send the message, publish the message to the backend. Then we can say console.log message sent successfully, and then we can return true. We can return true like this. So let's handle our catch. That's to catch the error. So we can now say console.error, say failed to send a message, pass in the error here, and then you can return false. Like this. All right, so this function, we are going to export it because we'll be needing it in the main chat page. That's the chat.js implementation. So let's also export this function too. So let's also have this function for disconnecting WebSockets. Let's say disconnect WebSockets. All right, so we want to check if Storm client, that's if the Storm client is active. First of all, let's clear the active section. Active subscription section. Let's clear that first. Then so after clearing this, so the next thing is for us to deactivate the Storm claim. Storm claim.deactivate. All right. Then let's log. Let's add a log. Let's say console.log. Let's say WebSocket disconnected. So let's catch any error that might come up when we try to disconnect the WebSocket. So let's say console.error, and then we can say error during WebSocket disconnection. All right, then let's set the Storm client to null. Should be equals to let's set it to null. Yeah, like this. All right, so let's now implement this function for attempting reconnect. All right, so let's say function attempt reconnect. So it is going to take in the current user, the token, and then handle incoming messages. All right, so we're going to say set timeout, connect to WebSocket. So then we want to pass in the current user, we'll pass in the token, and then we'll pass in this method. All right, and this should happen every, let's say, 5,000. all right, so for every 5 seconds. So this is the method we are going to use to attempt reconnection. All right, so I think that should be all for now. All right, so let's use this reconnection attempt variable. So let's set the mass reconnection attempt to, let's say, let's max underscore reconnection underscore attempts equals to 5. all right, so okay, we can make this a constant. All right, so we are going to say if reconnection attempt is greater than or equals to max reconnection attempt, So we want to say console .log. Let's say max connection attempt reach. Max reconnection attempts reached. All right, so then let's return. All right, so and we are also incrementing reconnection attempts each time we attempt to reconnect the WebSocket. Like if you see here, we say reconnection attempt, so we're incrementing it. All right, and we are also doing same here. So if we successfully connect to WebSocket, we want to set the reconnection attempt to 0. So we're going to say on connect. All right, we'll say reconnection attempt. We want to set it to 0. All right, so this is our WebSocket implementation.